Yes, people, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Box. The love in the comment section last time, the likes on the video, it told its own story, people. You want Box to Box back for good, so it's back for good. We are here. It's another big one. Unfortunately, off the back of another loss. That's how we're starting Box to Box, people, off the back of 2 losses. But we move. It is a big one, North London derby. I say it's a big one. I mean, the league also, relies on Liverpool to drop points to allow us back in it, but we need to start picking up wins. And obviously I've got Fuad in the building with me as well. Big up Fuad, man. How you been, Fuad?
All good, man. Can't complain. Through to the next round of the cup. You know what I mean? Doing our thing, trudging along slowly. First leg of the Carabao Cup win last week, so a couple of decent results from what has been a pretty much inconsistent, roller coaster season, should we say. But being a Spurs fan, I feel like that's almost par for the course.
Are you smiling so much, though? I don't understand. This ain't FCM, this is Box to Box, bro. This is 2 grown men.
You know what it is? I'll be real with you. Do you know what it is? I take great joy in Arsenal pain. I cannot lie to you.
I know this, bro.
And I'm sure many a Spurs fan do. And the past, should we say, week or so, has been a week of a lot of Arsenal pain. And it's almost like this fixture couldn't have come at a better time. Like the timing for both sides could be better, in my opinion. So midweek clash as well, bit of a weird one, but hey, we here now. So
what? Am I wrong in saying you're confident going into it?
Not confident, but I would definitely say this is the first time in a long time where I'm going to the Emirates and I'm thinking, you know what, we can definitely walk away with something here. And I don't mean a point. I think we can actually get our first win here in ages. And that's not confidently, but that's just looking at the situation of seeing kind of the last couple of games of how you guys have played, how we've played. But people always say form goes out of the window in derbies and all of that. And, but sometimes, hey, it does trickle on. Sometimes that mental effect does linger over. So, and it's always that weird point of the season, January. I always say a lot of things change. Teams' narratives change, team seasons change, all in a matter of a couple of games. A week can go by, and all of a sudden your season's going from optimistic, we was looking good, to all of a sudden things ain't looking. And I feel like Arsenal are on that kind of teetering point at the moment. And I hope we can kind of give that first nail in the coffin of, hey, strap in.
Bro, there might be a couple nails in that coffin already. Maybe 2 to go. Imagine Tottenham and then Emery. But, let me not be, let me put everything to the side for the moment. I didn't watch the game with Tamworth. It was on in the background. I every couple of minutes I'd look over, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. Obviously on paper 0-0 and you go to extra time. Obviously 3 goals comes then, and I guess you put that down to maybe Tamworth not having the legs or whatnot. But what was it? Did you rotate heavily? Was Tamworth better than expected, or was you poorer than expected? Why did it go extra time?
Naturally, I think we rotated a little bit, but I think we've been playing with a rotated side with the defense and goalkeeping over the last couple of weeks anyway. But on top of that, Werner starting up top, Mikey Moore coming back in, getting a start. So it was a fairly rotated side, but still a side that you'd expect going against Tamworth, who are playing in the conference, if I'm not mistaken. You should be able to do a job in 90 minutes. And the way Tamworth played, for me, impressed me more. It was like pre-game, I don't know if you saw the little videos of us walking in, their fans giving it to us, saying, you're just a shit Ollie Watkins, and just giving it all the typical ribbon. And I was like, this is proper magic of the FA Cup type situation. And the frustrating part watching the 90 minutes is you're thinking, oh my God, Tamworth are actually going to sneak something. 20 seconds into the game, bro, they got shot off on target near post, where you're thinking, hey, luckily we got our new goalkeeper. It looks like a safe set of hands, you know what I mean? But I feel like they had plenty of chances in that 90 minutes where on the right day, they could have walked away easily with a huge upset. But I think this is where a bit of Premier League quality just kind of shows itself. We brought on Kulusevski, Solanke and Son in extra time. And, then the magic of the cup is like, all right, now we're going to show you why we're Premier League side. And 3-0. It looks ugly in the end, but to be fair, Tamworth put up a huge fight, and credit to him, man.
So you're looking good then going into this game. You rested, well, not looking good. A lot of injuries. Still Romero out.
Romero down again. Vicario still out as well. I think Bentancur should be available as well. But yeah, I mean that we've kind of had to deal with.
Now, I think they said 2 weeks for him.
Huh?
They said 2 weeks for him when I first saw the report, and it ain't been 2 weeks, has it? Nah, it's only been a week.
Yeah. I mean, but he might still be out. But then Udogie as well, he's got the hamstring injury, so he's been out for the last couple games as well. We've had Reguilon come in on the weekend. Completely forgot he even existed. But to be fair, we've been dealing with a rotated side over the last couple of weeks. I think Kinski coming in over the last 2 games really impressed me on his debut versus Liverpool. Clean sheet, commanding performance, made some big saves. Great with the ball at his feet as well. And then similarly against Tamworth, where you think, it's going to be one of those games on AstroTurf. It could be a little janky, pulled off some decent saves again and looked solid. So that kind of gives me a bit of assurance just kind of on that last line. But listen, we still have holes in that defense. We can still be got at. And that's a little bit of the issue of why you can never really bank too much on the Tottenham Hotspur side. We've been so inconsistent this season because we either turn up and we can score 3-4 goals and look like a great attacking side, and similar like we did in extra time, you bring on a bit of quality, those players show their quality. But then there's times when we look passive, we look tepid, we don't look like we want it, and we can easily be got at. And one thing you see in Spurs games is even if we go 1 goal up, 2 goals up, you can still get back into that game, brother. Yeah. We've shown it many a times this season. So going to the Emirates is never going to be easy.
Take yourself back, like 7 days or so, yeah? Because obviously, like you mentioned, 1-2 games can change the feeling in January. And I guess the feeling has changed a little at Tottenham, to say the least, over the Liverpool Carabao Cup and FA Cup, progress.
Mm-hmm.
Where was you at 7 days ago with Ange? Like, where was you at with him?
My position hasn't changed, to be fair. I know obviously you do a show with Tapping Toes where some people have kind of been done with the kind of attacking style and the lack of defense and the lack of evolution. For me, I've been content with this season. I've taken into context the injuries that we have, the issues that we have. Have I wanted to see more from Ange? Definitely. Have I wanted to see more from the players as well? Definitely. Did I want to see more in the summer? Definitely. So I can't, as much as it's easy, everybody to say, the easy thing to always do is get rid of the manager and replace it. My thing is when we brought Ange in, we knew this was going to be a long-term project. We're now 18 months into it. We wanted an attacking identity. He's given us that. We wanted improvements in recruitment in terms of bringing good young players that can develop for the future. We've done that. Now, have we given him ready-made players that can improve the first team straight away? Maybe in Solanke we have, but we haven't given him more than that, in my opinion. And I still think there's a January window now. You have an opportunity to capitalize and really finish out the cup strong and really recover that second half of the season. Summer, you have another opportunity. I feel like if you keep doing this chop and change, what are you going to benefit? Superstar managers, you've gone down that route. You've gone down the Pochettino route. You've gone down the Jose route. You've gone down the Conte route. You've now got Ange. And for me, the one thing about Ange is the way he talks, the way he carries himself. He truly believes in what he's trying to build here. And in my opinion, I feel like a lot of the failures that have come in and a lot of games that have gotten away, I look at it as individual errors, individual mistakes, crosses not being closed down, miscommunication in the boxes. You look at it and you could say that's a byproduct of how we play. But at the end of the day, is this not what Spurs fans wanted? Is this not the attacking football you wanted? So now all of a sudden you're annoyed at the byproduct of it. Well, how do we improve that? That's the situation I've always been in. How do we improve what we've got? Because we've got a good base. So my thing is, I feel like after the Bournemouth game when we lost it, after the Fulham game when we lost it, there was a bit of pressure on Ange to say, is it just gung-ho football or basically we lose? And my thing is that was when the injuries were fresh. That was when the injury squad really, guys weren't stepping up, let's be honest. Guys like Bissouma, who I've been looking at this season, and over the last couple of games he's improved, but there have been individuals where I've been like, I wanted more from you this season. Madison wanted a little bit more from you this season. So is that on Ange as well, or are we going to have to look at the players as well? So for me, I wouldn't look at Ange and look to sack him this season. I would look at how can we further back him? How can we further improve the squad?
He famously, maybe infamously now said, second season trophy. Does that work against him? Because he has been rattled a few times to say things like that along the way, which I kind of get. He's getting abused by fans sometimes. The media has not turned on him, but because they loved him for a long time. But
bro, he's made a rod for his own back. That's what it is. It's as soon as people started to see the league form started to go away and Spurs slipping down to 10th, 11th in the table, it was like, hold on, I thought you win trophies in your second season. Now my thing was always, hold on, we weren't going to win the Premier League, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So the league form is one thing, but the minute I would really come down on him, I always said was, the cups. If you got eliminated out of the Carabao Cup to Man City's kids, I wouldn't have been happy with that. To that punctured Man United side, I wouldn't have been happy with that. So getting through those, I was like, well done. First leg against Liverpool now. You've done something. Can you do a miracle in the second leg? So for me, it's like that. Europa League as well. I'm looking at that and thinking, hey, you have a chance there for another trophy. FA Cup, we had Tamworth. We've got through that. So as long as the cups are there, I don't think his job should be in any jeopardy whatsoever. Now, depending on how we go out of the cups or how deep we go into the cups, that's when you can maybe take a look at the picture. But he has made it difficult for himself because he definitely does have to bring one of them at the end of the season for it to be a success and for him to live up to his words. But if he gets me a Carabao Cup, a Europa final, I ain't too mad at that. Just bring me one. Just bring me one. That's all I ask.
That's fair assessment. Can you be? Well, I was going to ask you to be fair in your assessment of Arsenal, but to be honest, you've seen my match reactions and fan cam since the last result, the result before that, and a lot of the people that would want to hear your fair assessment of it probably, don't give a shit anymore about fair assessments. They see it for what it is. But yeah, talk to me, man. Arsenal's position now is not what it should be, I'd say, in terms of 6, 7, 8 months ago, how we was looking at this season and the importance of it. Crashed out of the FA Cup, League Cup. You know, you score early, you score in the first half, it's 1-0. It looks different halfway through the second leg. But at this moment in time, St. James Park, a 2-goal deficit is looking long. What do you make of the situation now? Like, yeah,
bro. I mean, I can only imagine being an Arsenal fan must be the most frustrating thing in the world because you always were almost led to believe over what you were building the past 2-3 years that the moment City slip up, the moment Pep Guardiola starts to drop the ball a little bit, we are going to be there to capitalize and we're going to be there and no one's going to remove us when we're there. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially almost like the building blocks, or the whole phases thing, whatever everybody talks about. But then summer comes along and I really felt like that was a missed opportunity. And I think a few Arsenal fans kind of internally murmured about it saying, hey, look, Calafiori's nice and good, but not another defender. Okay, Marino, we're chasing him the whole summer, but tell me that's not just it. And it ended up being, oh, that was it. And then deadline day, they threw in a little Sterling deal and said, oh, yeah, here we got an attacker in as well, by the way, guys. Yeah, look, we address defense, midfield, and attack. We added something onto last season. And since we fixed Havertz previously, I'm sure we can fix Raheem again as well. Come on, this isn't phase one. We don't need to be fixing guys. This should have been the ready-made superstars. Okay, who are we breaking the bank for? We tried to do that with Caicedo, with Mudryk. Okay, that didn't work. Let's reinvest that money this summer now. Boom, let's go again. And that didn't really happen. And then you look at the start of the season and it was like, okay, our football isn't quite there, but we're getting results. You know what? Set piece FC, if that's what we're going to be, dark arts, cool. We'll embrace this for now. And I always thought, there's going to come a point in the season when them set pieces ain't coming off, when this ugly football ain't really working. And the Odegaard injury was almost like the first one of, hey, watch this. It's not looking the same anymore. Now the Saka injury has come, and it's almost like every Arsenal fan's worst scenario that they've been thinking of over the last couple of years, considering how many minutes he's played, considering how many games he's played. It was always a case of, hey, let's make some attacking signings so we can protect that boy there, because that boy is everything we've got. And now he's finally broken. And I think that was almost like the first stick to breaking the camel's back, if you like, for a lot of Arsenal fans and being like, hold on, now look at it. And you see in the last couple of weeks, now you've got the potential Carabao Cup elimination. You've got the FA Cup elimination. Then it's like Liverpool are slowly slipping away with the title. And the issue becomes as every week Liverpool drop points. Arsenal also seem to drop points. So it's almost like that merry-go-round that he was going on that should have led you to that goal in this. All of a sudden, it's like, it's a nightmare ride. You're like, I'm just being led in circles and circles and circles. Yeah. And the same dreams. And hold on, this is starting to feel Wengerish all over again now. What are we doing? We left this and we're back here again. So listen, it's from a Spurs fans, I'm sure a lot of Spurs fans are enjoying this, but as an Arsenal fan, I can imagine this must be the most frustrating thing, because even as Spurs fans, when we were in our Pochettino era where we were kind of there challenging, nearly there, the most hateful thing Spurs fans hate is being nearly at the finish line and not being given that extra push to get there.
Yeah.
Why get all the way here if you're not going to try and make that jump? Why Why build this project? Why tantalize and tease and do all of this just to not make the final push? And especially when you have that golden pathway of City not being there this year. Arne Slot's now going to come in his first season and just walk his way to the title. Man, it's worrying, honestly.
It is worrying. On the manager assessment, like, listen, I've seen shows with you on where, listen, the vibe of the show dictates the aura, the conversation, or the nature of it. I've seen shows where you remain unbiased. You can talk your talk, and I've seen shows where you can give it as well. But on Mikel, I mean, should he, from an outside, people know how I feel about him right now. You know, if you haven't, go watch the fan cam and the match reaction and all that. From an outside perspective, a lot of people do tend to say, you know, there's a large segment of Arsenal fans that still say it, and opposition fans, they're reactionary, they're back at it again. This is, you know, this was expected. Look at that, you're second in the league. Is the aura around the fan base right now warranted, or some parts of the fan base warranted, in terms of the frustration, like I said, for example, I'll use my thing, beginning of the end. That's what it feels like right now.
What you just said there sums it up perfectly for me. 100%. I feel like it's almost the beginning of the end. With the cup eliminations, if those happen, I feel like the issue is as well is this squad is built in Arteta's vision. That attack is built in his vision. He is the one that has brought Jesus, injury prone forward. Okay, maybe he hasn't delivered over the past couple of years. Havertz, who signed as a centre mid, he's the one that's converted him into a centre forward. Trossard in January, he's the one that decided to keep him, renew his contract. Marquinhos, everybody forgets. Where is he? I don't even know where he's.
Alone somewhere, man.
But this is your vision that you built. Mikel Merino, you chose to chase him all summer. I don't even know what that guy brings to the midfield. Good passing, good tackling, good work rate. I don't know. I'm yet to see it. So that's the thing. So you've had 4 years to build this vision. Because even at FA Cup you won, it was with, people will say, Emery's players. The superheroes in that cup were Emi Martinez and Aubameyang, hasted out of the club by you. So essentially, it's like what you've built up to this point is a nearly team of nearly men. You went and signed, the first thing you did was sign Jesus and Zinchenko. They were meant to bring their experience and medals with them. Zinchenko's bombed out of the squad at the moment. Jesus can't get ahead of Havertz. This is your vision. So for me, it's a case of this season, what is the do or die for Arteta, in my opinion. And if you don't deliver the Premier League, especially in the context of City not being there, and you could say Liverpool there, but you're meant to be right there competing with them, taking them down and showing them, no, we've been in this race for the past couple of years where you took a break, we're the new dogs here. And that's not how it's looking. And I don't get the sense of Arteta that that's the reaction they're going to give in January in terms of the window. Because it should be, I should be seeing what I'm seeing from City, where 3 signings are nearly completed in the first 15 days. Marmoush, Kusanov, and Vitor Rice. That should be awesome.
Yeah.
That should be you lot, number 9, whoever it is coming through the door. Enough of this, we've got Havertz and he's developed. Light a fire up his arse and sign a number 9 and say, you know what, Victor Osimhen, 65 million, that's the fee to get him from Galatasaray? Come, we're going to show you. You wanted to play in London for Chelsea? Come play for us. That's the kind of cojones Arteta should be showing, that almost determination that this is the season I want to win. No more, we're going to build. And I think that's the issue with Arsenal fans. They have waited 4 years to have this moment of deliverance. And everybody believes in cycles. Everybody believes in projects. And when you get behind it, there's nothing better than, we're going to get there. But then when you're nearly there, right there, and you're not doing the maximum to push over it, whether that's putting pressure on the board. Because for me, this should be the time where Arteta should be looking at the board and putting pressure on them.
100%.
And instead, it's almost feeling like he's being the shield for them. So, that's where it starts to become, hold on, are you the corporate yes man? Or are you the guy that wants to actually get us over this line and deliver these fans what they want?
Bro, you've listen. People are gonna say in the comments, it feels like I've briefed you, bro. That's what I swear to you.
Just the outsider looking in.
I ain't spoken to Fuad since last year. Happy New Year, even, my bro. Just in case you think that this guy's been briefed. Everything you said that I've said over the last couple of weeks, bro. He's a company man now. He's the second highest paid manager in the world, bro. 15 million a year, more than Simeone, Angelotti, etc. It's only Guardiola above him. That's
crazy.
From when you're signing that contract, I call that a shield contract now. Wenger signed it. Now we've got Arteta signed it, and that also tells you what these honors are about. Because if they're willing to pay the manager the most in Europe in Wenger or the second most in Arteta,
and
then
I know, and the thing is, I know obviously Edu leaving as sporting director, a lot of people want to throw some stain on him and say, hey, some of those signings are not getting what was his fault. But Arteta have a heavy hand
of
in
course
those
he did.
signings, bro. Let's not act like that. They were bum chums having barbecues in the summers. Come on, guys, let's not do that. And now he's been given the full reign since the summer. What have you seen?
Yeah,
not a lot.
It's an easy way to get out of criticizing either the manager, the owner, remaining positive about the circumstance by blaming Edu, who's gone. You know, equally, he might have left because he was a big reason for it. He might have left because he saw it and thought, nah, well, this guy's getting paid now the second highest in Europe, and I'm getting as much stick as he is, if not more, for these transfers. I'm out, man. More money, and I have less, less exposure. Who doesn't want less stress, more money?
Facts.
That's essentially what he took. So the argument could work both ways with Edu. Did it? My first two box to boxes, I had Flex here the other day, and I asked him. His answer was interesting. Key man for Arsenal. Like, who are you most threatened by in this potential starting 11 tomorrow?
I mean, it sounds mad to say, obviously, after the game that he had against United, but I still think Martin Odegaard. I think Martin Odegaard, if he, on his day, I don't even want to call him an on his day player, but if he turns up with the right attitude and really wants to dictate that game, Arteta, he's shown over the last season, 2 seasons, that he can run a game with ease as well. But obviously, the past couple of weeks ain't been easy for him. But this is where really and truly you look to your captains. This is really where you look to your best players to, do you have the mental character to dig us out of a hole when we need it? Do you have the character to turn it around when you're not on form in a big game against a rival when we need it? And I always say in big games like this, you look to your captains, you look to your best players. And he is one for me. I think Arsenal fans should be looking at, like, we need a big performance from you. We saw when you was out injured, Saka took the armband. He gave us some big individual performances. Now we want the same from you. And especially off the back of that United game, we need some redemption. And there's no better way redemption than North London derby. So he is the one that I'm like, we need to nullify and shut down straight away. But then there's also a second one. I think that's a sleeper one. And that, for me, is Jorginho. I don't know if he will start this game or not. But I think whenever I have seen Jorginho play for Arsenal, he just keeps it ticking. He does what he did at Chelsea.
He does.
He moves the game around so well and forces players. His passes almost force players into good positions. I don't know how else to say it, but he's an incredible brain in that midfield, and I think he has something that Partey nor Rice has. And when he plays, you just look like a more fluid team, like that team you were in.
Defensive front though with him though, with your transition and attacking intent.
That's the threat, because I do remember when we had the Emirates 2-2, I think it was last.
Yeah, he came off the bench and
he was the one actually that got nabbed for the second goal, I think it was. So on that physical side, but then I guess if you want to dominate on the front foot, I would say maybe like a Rice, Jorginho, with Odegaard. That would be, I think, the midfield you guys should go for. Enough of the Marino experiment. Partey, I don't know what the situation is as well, but I think that for me looks like your 3 most kind of fluid midfield in my opinion.
I don't need to ask you how you're gonna go. You don't only know 100. Like, there's no 0 to 100. There's 100, and that's it. So yeah,
Gear 5 and Gear 5 only, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Straight in. Who's your key man then? Like, from the lineup you expect to see, who would be the key man you look to either win it, help you win it, or make sure you get something out of it?
For me, without a doubt, Kulusevski. I think all season long this season, he has been driven by, I don't know what is driving him this season, but he looks a complete different player. And I want to say, obviously, Ange moving into centre mid has kind of given him a new lease of life. But even when we put him back out wide, he looks that same player. It's consistent quality. He's a difference maker. Off the ball, he works as well. He talks like a leader. He acts like a leader. So for me, if I'm looking at someone within that Tottenham team to set the tone in a North London derby, he's the one I'm looking at. Leader for his national team as well. He's really coming into his own, I feel like, where we kind of looked at the Spurs squad, and it's a fairly new squad in terms of coming together. Romero, Maddison, Son, they're all the captains. Son's the only kind of long-serving player there. But a lot of new guys kind of figuring each other out, and I feel like he is the one that is kind of stepping up and saying, no, I want to take responsibility in this team. I feel like Maddison has kind of almost been withdrawn a little bit by Ange, with Kulusevski taking over almost. And he's taking it. And I'm looking at him in this game and I'm like, bro, it don't matter if you're playing right wing. It don't matter if you're playing centre mid. I know you can cause damage in this game. Show me that.
Yeah, and obviously you've got what, Solanke's.
He's one that's been coming into his own as well. I can't lie to you, especially in the Big Six games as well.
Liverpool game, he really Konate. That's probably the most trouble anyone's caused him.
Bro, I've rarely seen Konate get matched for physicality, and I was like, fair play in the 87th minute as well. Konate being fresh, I was like, I've been really impressed with his all-round game, but in the past like 2 months, you're really starting to see the goals, the assists come through as well, and I'm like, now he's going to get the numbers. Now is when I start thinking people will start talking about him a little bit more as well. But he is definitely one. I want to see him test Saliba and Gabriel more than Haaland did. I know that's not asking for a lot, because that brother didn't do nothing against them. But just give them a rough night.
That is
let them know. Like what Xerxes did in that cameo against United, more than what Højlund did the entire 80 minutes. That's what I want to see them. Just getting stressed. Because I know they are brilliant. Those are the two that I would say, no matter what has happened in your club over the past 12 months, or whether good or bad, they have remained constant. And they will remain constant. So for me, if you can give those two a rattle, you have a chance.
Yeah, the layers in front of them have thinned as well, so that's why they're more exposed to be. Isak done it for Newcastle, and you're right, Zex, he came on and had a few moments and was finding some success. So Solanke. What about Brennan Johnson? Is he available?
He is available, and with him, it's I just look at him like end product. Just come on and be. I always think he is the perfect impact player. I'm not a fan of him starting games. I think sometimes you can use him in games where there's going to be high lines. I don't know how high you guys all play, but I would personally have him coming off the bench against tired legs. I think that's where he works best, getting on the end of passes, getting on the end of crosses. I don't really need him too much involved in build-up. He could pop up late with goals here and there, but let him come off the bench. I would personally have Kulusevski starting right wing.
Okay, Kulusevski. Okay, cool. Yeah. Main threat, Solanke up top, and I guess what, Son
on the left, yeah. Son, just roll me back the years for one half.
Tottenham heritage, that's what Son is, isn't it?
I know you can't do it for 90 no more. I know that left wing role has got them hamstrings burnt this season. But can you do me one more game? One more half? That's all I ask, brother. One more shimmy. Get inside Timber and let it go, B. That's all I want to see.
Hey, Timber might be injured, bro. It might be Partey.
Ooh, hey, stiff hips Partey. Hey.
To be honest, as much as I don't like it, Partey's actually done all right, bro.
He's done right back, I can't lie. Him and Caicedo, for some reason, when they slot in at right back, they don't miss a beat.
Yeah, it's weird because you wouldn't expect, like, when he came up against Diaz that first time you put him there, it was like, right, I locked him down straight away.
Yeah.
And Diaz was informed then. But yeah, let's end, Fuad, with prediction. Obviously, Emirates. Let me go first. I'm saying 2-2.
2-2. 2-2. I can't lie. I feel like would feel like a loss to a lot of Arsenal fans.
Oh, 100%. Brighton was a loss, bro. That was 1-1.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take a 2-2 right now. I can't lie to you.
You'll take that, yeah.
I think it will be a high-scoring game as well. I was thinking 2-2. I'm dreaming for a 2-1.
Of course you are, man.
I don't know if we have the semblance to hold on to something like that. But if we go 2-1 up, and then your crowd starts to turn, then I think maybe we can stick something. But I think yours is kind of the more sensible. I'll go 2-2 as well.
Yeah, it's playing it safe, bro. And I can't lie, playing it safe the last 4 games is fucking... Yeah, the club ain't doing any better, mate. The club ain't doing any better. But Fuad, talk to them, man. Where can they find you? Aside from FCM on DR Sports, what's your channel saying?
Fuad Kadani on YouTube, on Instagram, Twitter as well, if you want to see some funny stuff as well every once in a while.
Fuad likes a bit of Twitter, people, trust me.
I'm partial to a tweet here and there.
Of course you are. People, listen, hit that like button, go show Fuad's channel some love. Twitter, IG, Fuad Kadani all over the board, and obviously FCM on DR Sports. You know what it is already. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, give us your thoughts, predictions, and opinions, all of that in the comment section below. Love for the love, we're at. Peace.